Hello, my name is Caprice Chaplin, and this is my video demonstrating a mock counseling session as part of our course assessment. In this role play, I will be acting as the practitioner, and she will be acting as the volunteer client. The purpose of this interview is to demonstrate three stages of our healing process, which includes evaluating the client's goals, evaluating the client's progress, and ending the professional relationship. In this scenario, the client is a 22-year-old college student who is initially sought counseling due to feeling overwhelmed, balancing schoolwork and family responsibilities. Her goal in counseling were to improve time management, reduce stress, and feel more confident managing her responsibilities. This role play demonstrates a final counseling session in which the practitioner and client review the goals that were identified earlier in the helping process, discuss the progress the client has made, and create a healthy, supportive closure to counseling relationship. I will now begin the mock counseling interview. Hi, Maya. It's good to see you today. Since this is our final session together, I want us to spend some time reviewing the goal we talked about earlier in counseling, discuss the progress we've made, and talking about what things may look like for you moving forward. How does that sound?
That sounds good. I actually think it would help me. I actually think it would help because when I first started counseling, I felt overwhelmed and I didn't think things would improve. Looking back now, I can see that things are different.
When you first came to counseling, you talked about feeling overwhelmed, trying to balance school, work, and helping the family. Can you describe what things were like for you at that time?
At the time, I felt like everything was piling up on me. I was working part-time, taking classes, and also helping my mom with my younger siblings. I felt like everything was constantly behind. I was always constantly behind on my assignments, and I was starting to feel like I wasn't capable of keeping up with everything.
It sounds like you were feeling a lot of pressure and beginning to doubt your ability to keep up with everything. When we first started meeting, what changes were you hoping what would happen?
I wanted to feel more organized and less stressed. I also wanted to stop procrastinating because that was making everything worse. Mostly, I just wanted to feel like I had some control over my life again.
So the main goal we identified were improving time management, reducing stress, and building more confidence in your ability to manage responsibilities. Do those goals still reflect what you needed from counseling?
Yes, those goals were exactly what I needed. I didn't want my life to feel chaotic all the time, and I wanted to feel more confident that I could handle everything.
One thing I try to focus on as a practitioner is helping my clients identify their own goals rather than deciding them for them. When you look at those goals now, do you still feel relevant? Do they still feel relevant, or have they changed as you've grown through this process?
I think they still fit, but I would say now my focus is on maintaining the progressive the progress I've made instead of just trying to survive a week to week.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now that we've reviewed the goals, let's talk about the progress you've made when you think about where you were at the beginning of counseling compared to now? What changes stand out to you the most?
One big change is that I actually started using a planner and breaking my assignments into smaller tasks instead of waiting until the last minute. I'm still busy, but I don't feel as overwhelmed as before. Overwhelmed because I have a plan.
I remember earlier you mentioned that you started using a planner and breaking tasks into smaller pieces. How has that helped you manage your responsibilities?
It helped a lot because before everything felt like one big problem. Now I can see what I need to do each day, and it makes things feel more manageable.
It sounds like you've moved from feeling overwhelmed to feeling more organized and confident in how you approach things. Would you say that is accurate?
Yes, that's accurate. I still get stressed sometimes, but I don't feel like I'm drowning the way I used to.
Hmm. In counseling, we sometimes talk about the stages of change. At the beginning, it seems like you were still trying to figure out what changes needed to happen. Now it sounds like you are actively applying strategies and practicing new habits.
I think having someone help me breaks things down.
Okay, what do you think helped you move from thinking about change to actually making those changes?
I realized that I didn't have someone to say yes to everything people asked me to do, setting boundaries and helping reduce my stress.
Okay. I also want to highlight some strengths that helped you through this process. You were open to feedback, willing to try new strategies, and you use support from people you trust. Those are important strengths.
I didn't really think about it that way before, but I guess I did start advocating for myself more.
Okay. Since this is our final session together, I want to spend some time talking about the ending of our work together. Ending counseling can bring up different emotions. Some people feel proud of their progress, while others feel nervous about continuing on their own. What does this ending feel like for you?
I feel a little nervous, but also proud. I'm glad I came to counseling because I learned things that really helped me, but I also worry about slipping back into old habits.
Okay.